fight fans? Welcome back for another episode of The Real in the Rear. I'm being joined by my friend BKFC, now Cruiserweight, Mr. Andrew Nolen. Andrew, how are we feeling this afternoon, my friend?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day out. How are you, Steven?
I'm doing great. Appreciate your time. Obviously we both had to move days and times around to kind of get this happening. So appreciate your time as always, my friend. But before we get into everything, every episode here on the South Florida Tribune is brought to you by our good friends over at Fight Wax. Fight Wax is the ultimate athlete and active person skinwear, and helps treats cuts, swelling, scrapes, and abrasions, rejuvenates and restores stressed skin. Customers have used for soreness, stiffness, and recovery. Designed for athletes and all active lifestyles. Provides an ultra silky, non-greasy feel, deep hydration for everyday skincare. Help fight dry skin. And customers have used for skin disorders such as eczema and psoriasis. And when you head over to fightwax.com, make sure you use that code SFT15FW. Show my guys over there some love.
So get over there and get yourself some Fight Wax. Soothe the knuckles. Let's go.
They got the soap coming out soon, brother. They got the soap coming out soon. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
And they got stuff for pets too. Like the bully breeds. They always got those dry patches they get on them. It's really good for the skincare for the dogs too. So
I'm always keep my little dude around.
Exactly.
He's not too far from me all the time, man.
Yeah. As long as he's within an ear's pinch of you, he's good to go. I remember last time when we were doing this interview, he was all over you, brother.
Yeah, he's my dude. That's my best friend, man. Yeah, I don't think I trust any.
That's what dogs typically are. They are your best friends, man. There are
always got my sticks.
Yeah.
Like nothing could sneak up on me on this property. I can say that.
Loyalty of a dog is unmatched to mankind, my friend. It's unmatched. But
hey, yo, Ragnar, we're talking about you over here. Want to say hi? Ragnar. Hey guys, if you guys didn't get a chance to meet him before, he usually comes with me and comes out. This is Ragnar. It's our buddy right here. He's the beast.
Couple things want to address. First off, obviously, as a new cruiserweight divisional fighter now, as you're moving up weight, I got to get your thoughts on this one, man. I kind of seen the writing on the wall as soon as they made the interim fight, but Alessio Sakara vacates the cruiserweight championship. When I was talking to Esteban a few weeks ago, was one of the things I said, like, where is Alessio Sakara? What's going on?
I was wondering too, especially with the Italy show coming up.
He was still had lingering injuries from the fight with Camozzi, et cetera, et cetera. That's why they made the interim fight. But now, for all intents and purposes, there is no interim.
Esteban is the undisputed, at this point.
Well, I mean, he has to defend it to be undisputed, but he's. On paper right now, he is
the champion. He's the world champion. And he's also from Michigan too. Like I'm not from Michigan, but I hail and live in Michigan. So it was a pretty big renaissance when he won that, man. Like everybody was pretty happy around here, man. Like I'm not afraid to say that I'm a fan of Esteban. He's always got a great attitude, smile, man, and he always goes out so aggressively.
He's got a special energy about him. Like regardless if you're gonna have to fight him. Whatever you gotta love the energy that he puts out, and I think that's why a lot of people want to see him do well. We'll see what the next year or so.
I mean, they got a venue over here now. They're doing the Storm Eagle
wrestling. That sometimes they put a belt on a terrible person, but sometimes they put a belt on a character we love and endure, and I think he embodies that wrestling type feel when a character gets a belt and you just want to see them hold on to that belt. It's kind of
absolutely. You got diehard niches and certain different champions.
Yeah,
and you got it's kind of hard to find somebody that does not like Esteban Rodriguez. Like if you don't, then you're probably an asshole. He's
a good dude, and he's one of these guys that gives back in the community too, and I think that
for sure.
board.
Yeah, no, he trains not too. I would say about an hour and a half, 2 hours from me, and he always holds like open training around here too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, but that's how you got to do it too. Like yeah, there's some stuff that you have to do, but you have to do it in a way where you're giving back not just to yourself, your teammates, your gym, but to everybody. And sometimes when people get in the combat sports world, it's something that some of them tend to forget about, and they become what's the saying we always say? They become too Hollywood, right?
too full of the noise around.
But
them,
here's the thing: when you're a fighter, you got to be at least a little brash, a little cocky.
For sure, you gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta be drinking your own Kool-Aid to understand, for sure. And if you're not, and you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is gonna believe in you.
And while we're on the belief of oneself, did you see Conor McGregor's return's already sold out?
Oh goodness! I mean, hey, dude.
Someone told me a few years ago that he's all talk, he's done. No one is gonna pay to see Conor McGregor.
Everyone's gonna pay to see.
First time they've had a pre-event sellout as fast as they did since Conor McGregor was.
They're welcome. We have lent you our boss and leader, so you're welcome, UFC. You could hold on to him a little bit. Then he's gonna come over here and he's gonna either beat Mike Perry or Darren Till. Seems like, I want to see him fight, and I know after the fight with Mike Perry and Diaz,
what happens against Max Holloway International Fight Week, I think that the fight to make is him and Mike Perry.
I want him to see him fight Diaz for the third one. I honestly do. That's what I want to see.
I agree with what Nate said. Even though Nate didn't have the greatest performance, but also we all know when Nate gets beat up like that, when he comes back, it's like he finds this pit of energy that was deep down inside him, and he unleashes it on the next fighter. So I do think that that's a fight that needs to happen at some point in time within the next 5 years. But here's something to wrap your head around, Drew.
Yeah.
It's been more than 5 years since Conor McGregor's had an MMA fight. That is the longest former champion that has had a broken leg, had a layoff in between fights.
What about Ronda Rousey? Ronda Rousey was like, what, 9 years?
Yes, that wasn't in the UFC. That wasn't in the UFC. It's an MMA return, yes. And
yes. Yeah, okay.
It should have been Gina Carano, because she was at the 17-year limit from the last time she had an MMA fight.
Her last one was not in the UFC as well. Did she?
Yeah, her last one was Strikeforce.
Strikeforce. Yeah, that's what I think.
Stanley defeated her. She went into the acting world. So
yeah, I mean, she's doing her thing, man. Gracious to both of them for coming back, man. That was an entertaining card. What anybody wants to say, man, I was entertaining. Isn't that what this is all about? Is to be entertained and enjoy the fights.
My only problem with it was just like the idiots that we call fans or people who consume combat sports on social media are sitting there like, oh, this is a work. I'm like, you guys are freaking stupid. She's stupid. I'm like, that's what she put on
Patton Ronda Rousey work. Listen, man, that's how she used to do it. There was no way
there was going to be a judge that was going to be involved with that fight that night. There was no way. It was going to go one of two ways. The way it went, I don't know people understand that she did it. She did it totally differently than she did her entire MMA career. She never ever shot a wrestling single leg. It was always the judo throws, right?
Right. It was always off.
She was going in there against a high-level Muay Thai fighter. She did exactly what you're supposed to do when you're fighting a Muay Thai fighter. They throw that low calf kick. You catch it, you take them down, you get on top, you ground and pound and work your submissions. That's what you do when you have a Muay Thai fighter and you're doing MMA. That is exactly what Ronda Rousey did. Why is this surprising? No, it's not a work. And even, you could see it on Gina's face. Like, she had something she still had to release. And despite the fact that Holly Holm lost last night, I hope
that's what you want to see is Gina and Holly.
they give us Gina and Holly. I really do, because I think Gina should be given the opportunity to fight a legit striker, not a grappling submission specialist like Ronda Rousey.
That'll be a great stand-up.
That wasn't even her face of stoppage in her career. I got in a whole argument with it. I had David Potter on here a few weeks ago. I put out a clip, and I had this weirdo in the comments on the reel, like, you guys should be ashamed talking about a worked fight like this.
Millions of people around the world should be ashamed, man.
David said it right. Like, people have a perception of things, and what's outside of that, they're just ignorant on it.
They're ignorant to it. Like they say, hey, well, they see MVP behind it, and they're automatically assuming, the worst. I would rather live in a more optimistic world where I'll take the flowers in it, and I'll appreciate it.
I've been hard on Jake his entire career for multiple different reasons. I think he's a weight bully, beating up on older fighters outside of his several weight classes below, but
he fought
the other side of that coin. But
he fought Anthony Joshua,
and is this? Can you name me a fighter that's fought more high-level fighters as they were learning the game, cutting their teeth, than Jake Paul has? You have to go back a long way to find somebody when they were learning how to boxing those level type of fighters.
And
just like to give Jake crap, and he deserves a lot of it. Let's be honest. But at the same time, like,
he's doing a lot for combat sports, though, man. Like, if anything, he's creating new fans, and
he's a great promoter. I don't think anyone could take that away from him. And I will still sit there and say the smartest thing that he ever did was attach himself to Amanda Serrano the minute he started getting into the boxing.
Yeah.
I think it was the smartest thing he could have done. She gave him a level of legitimacy that put him in this position, in my opinion.
Now, is Amanda tied with Christy Martin for the most female knockouts in history?
Was that a knockout last night?
Oh my God, was it, or was it a TKO?
I'm not sure, but that's what she's waiting for. She wants to either tie or pass Chrissy Martin's record before she retires.
Well, congratulations to Christy Martin too. She just got inducted to another Hall of Fame, the International Boxing Hall of Fame, as well.
I mean, dude, that's a good year for her. She had Sydney Sweeney play her in a movie, right?
Yeah.
I
had the privilege of meeting her and being on one of her cards. It was awesome. I went out to Myrtle Beach and I had fought for before I started my BKFC career, and I want to say it was like my fourth professional fight, and I was able to meet her. That was pretty cool. She's a very, very humble woman, and I don't know if you ever seen her documentary too. That's she went through some intense stuff.
See, I always watched stuff like that when I was younger, just because that's how we learned about these people, how we learned about the greats that came before the eras that got us into these sports. That's why I do the podcast. It's just so we all have a story to tell, share, get out, and it's why I always do this. So Chrissy she doesn't get enough
inspiration.
Credit. She doesn't get enough credit. Yeah, she absolutely.
Well, I'm glad that she's getting more now. I'm glad that people are opening up and understanding how incredible her journey really was.
Yep.
So, I'm a huge fan. She's definitely within my top fighters for sure.
We'll get into top fighters a little bit later, because it's one of the subjects that I always get into.
For sure.
Thoughts on a couple different things. First thing, Dana White's got a couple bones I got to pick with him right now.
Okay.
Right. So we talk about a lot of things in life, and recently there was a comment he made that men should never speak out about their mental health problems. And I gotta call bullshit. The comment to him was like, talking about it publicly just feels like it opens the door to make young men think it's okay to just go, oh, I'm having mental health issues, and
he's coming
in a whiny voice, handle it behind doors, don't show weakness to anybody,
Yeah, it's a different time that he's coming from, man. It's a whole different mindset, this alpha bro type, thing. I don't know, man. Like, if Dana ever listens or watches the podcast here, man, I'm not a huge fan of how Dana White operates. I wish him well, and I respect what he's done, and I don't know, man. I would never be a promoter to try to put myself in front of my talent, and I feel like that's how it works, Like, he's the biggest star in the UFC. Like, I mean, yes, Conor McGregor's coming back. Yes, John Jones gives us maybe one fight every 2 years, but like, the reality is Dana White is the biggest star of the UFC, and that's not how it should be.
That's how it was. I don't think it's how it is anymore. But
I mean, who's the bigger star?
Listen, I don't think Dana White is the big bad villain everyone makes him out to be. He's not. He's just the face of that.
If you got money to go in and blow, $2,250,000, a night on a blackjack, night, I don't know, man. Maybe you should have the better you should commission your fighters a little bit better. That's what everybody's talking about, and that's what Ronda was like thinking. I'm not saying that the top level people aren't getting paid, their millions, but at the same time, how much are they actually bringing in? And how much are they? How much does Ilya Taporia make? Come on, does he even make $1 million to fight now?
Here's my thing with that. Again, Dana White isn't the biggest villain. He's not. He's also not everyone.
Blame it all on TKO Network, right?
But let's to your point, because they just asked him about the money thing recently too. I'll always be pro fighter with that, and I always thought that they've always been in the business of making money, not paying money, and it's always been about who they pay and who they don't. I think there's a 5% layer of guys that are always in the promotion that always get taken care of, regardless of.
But even though in that 5%, how many of those people are actually active fighters? How many of those are the active fighters in that 5%? That's what we got to think of. There's legacy fighters in there that can kind of jump on and do whatever they want. But how many are holding your titles? How many are actually getting? How much does Valentino make? That's what I'm wondering. How much does she make in a fight? How much is Ilya Taporia making? I mean, I'm sure that Gaethje's making something.
Those are fighters because of how long they've been there. They're well over that, like 300 to 400K.
That's wonderful, but because of how many title defenses or how many things
I agree. Like if you're asking me, Valentina Shevchenko should at least be getting anywhere to $3 to $5 million a fight, just because.
Yeah.
Ask me, if you take Ronda Rousey and you take Amanda Nunes out of the UFC from ever being existed, Valentina is without a doubt the best female fighter that we have ever seen. If you ask me right now, she should be on the quote unquote women's MMA Mount Rushmore right now.
Yeah.
I think it should be Amanda, Gina, Ronda, and Valentina.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I think that those are the same ones that I would put up there.
Like those are. And that's still like
for UFC or MMA. I mean, yeah, a lot of people are going to make the argument of Christine Cyborg, that'll be up there. But I think that I don't think she's on the level as the rest.
The vast majority of Chris's success has been outside of the UFC, and that's not her fault, nor should it be to her detriment. Mm-hmm. But I think as where you're growing the sport, I don't think Chris did the length that the names that I just did.
Unfortunately, it was like during her prime and during the other one's prime, we didn't get the matchups that we wanted.
It's the same argument we've had in boxing forever, though, too.
Well, boxing is over the moon right now, But
back
you got 10-0 guys that are everywhere now because boxing is ran by money and not by, that's just the way it is,
I would say it like this, to your point about the pay thing, right? Their champions don't get paid enough. Their 10+ fight veterans don't get, none of them are ever going to get paid enough. And even to the point now, like, we're seeing it now, like as of right this minute, that the WNBA players are now being paid more than a good 60% of the UFC roster.
When they're not even pulling, no offense, and please don't come at me with the torches and pitchforks, and they're not bringing in the same revenue as that. Maybe
on a revenue sharing platform with the NBA. So that being said, like, you have fighters, and I know one of the fighters had posted something that like they had like fucking $17 in their account or something like that. But this is also a guy that's been arrested multiple times. He's had more than 3 fights in the UFC, and it's still under the promotional banner. But like, it's one of these things where like we shouldn't be seeing that. Like, you guys, like if you're the type of level company that it is, like, we shouldn't be seeing guys putting themselves in harm's way because they're in financial strife. If
you get a shot in the UFC right now, I think that like they may have just moved it up, but for the longest time it was 10-10 for a 3 fight contract. And that's if you get in the contract. That's before you go on, like, or after the Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter or any other of those island fights or whatever that hell that they got going on. If you get past that, then you get a contract that says now 12-12. Okay, so you win, you get $12,000. You lose, you win, you get $24,000. Then you got to pay out your coaches. You got to pay out all this, right? I don't know, man. It's kind of BKFC's paying more in the comparison. That's what I'm saying. And they are so much more in like what would you say? I heard it was, listen, they're in their toddler year, they're two they're
well, no, like someone was like a BKFC was in their infancy. I'm like, there's no way they're in their infancy. Like,
no, they've been around now.
In their toddler years, they're in their terrible 2s right now. They're still growing, man. Like,
but and they are, but what they are doing right now is no other company has been on a faster trajectory than them.
But that's what I've been sitting there saying, and like people were like giving me crap about it. I'm like, listen, you look as far as popularity and growth, not who's pulling in the bigger gates, not who has more pay-per-view buys or more views on this. Like, popularity and growth, bare knuckle as a whole, regardless of what level of BKFC we're talking about, whether it be BYB, whether it be BKFC, whether it be Valor, or whether it be some local guy that's putting on a bare knuckle fight. It's been where the fans are coming from, and I just think it's how we as people consume combat sports. MMA is getting to a point where it's hit a wall. 1, they don't have the stars, and 2, something Chris Lytle said, I think the rule set where it's at, we're not in this stage where we're so blind to how things should work that you should have a rule set that makes things more difficult for some of these fighters. Yes, it's for fighter safety, but also I think as a sport, I think there's some rules that hinder them as well.
Without saying an exact figure or this, it may piss some people off, but the reality is I get paid extremely well. I'm one of those rare exceptions, and I don't know why. And I listen to me. Maybe I'm marketable. Maybe they like me. Maybe I handle myself like a professional. I always go in there to fight, but they're giving me 5 figures, man. They do that. They do that for me, for Drew, hard body over here. I'm saying it on air. That's kind of crazy that like there's other promotions out there that aren't taking care of, their guys. That's all I could say. Hey, I can't imagine like what anything. There's no one that's going to pay me more than BKFC. So
listen, it's I live the fastest growing sport, and then in the biggest promotion inside of that sport, you'd be a fool to try to look for things elsewhere. I mean, the only thing I'd say is like I know like some of the other guys and girls have only complained about the frequency of the fights. So I mean,
right. Like we're talking right now, and my last fight was in June. like last year. And it's not from anything. There's been some offers on there, but they weren't the best things for me at the time. I'm grateful to them that they went in. They know that I'm passionate about this fight coming up, and they went through and they did their due diligence, and it took a while, but they were in this fight too. They believe this is going to be a great fight. It's going to be a competitive fight. They know the reality behind it. They know what kind of fighter I am. They know what kind of person I am. So I'm very excited that they gave me this opportunity. And for me, I would say this Xfinity Mobile Arena fight in Philadelphia is arguably going to be the biggest fight of the year. Yeah, we got Conor coming up. Yeah, there's the White House card. But this fight's got a lot of stuff going on with it right now. And,
yeah, I mean, whether I was just talking about the initial announcement, Austin Trout the defending that title. You got the mini grudge match there with Dr.
Hart and
Sarah Snow and Britt and Hart fighting for the title there. They did announce
Richmond
Richmond and Johnny Garbarino, which that's be interesting. Johnny better chill with the cannolis for this one. Mike's that's a full glass of water there. And I mean, I get it. Like, Mike should do. It would be funny as hell if he went on there on stage like the Karate Kid did with the fucking shower curtain. I'm Mike. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, no, you ain't getting me with no cannoli, sir.
Hey man, your crowd goes nuts for him, man.
Listen,
he's one of the fastest growing stars in BKFC right now.
Philadelphia was recently voted the most passionate football team in the United States, right?
Sure.
We travel so well to other stadiums. And I think people also tend to forget that we're a huge fight town. We're a huge boxing town,
Oh yeah, man. You got
from here,
Frazier.
We got the alien Bernard Hopkins came
Bernard Hopkins is right. Frazier is from
Gutierrez and he's one of the most underrated boxing world champions that we have today. So we are a boxing town. We are a fight town.
Absolutely.
For the longest time, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Broad Street Bullies was the flag that flew the highest here in Philadelphia. So for us to be a special fight town, I don't think it is surprising. The first two big UFC cards that they ever did in that arena had set and then re-broke the attendance records that BKFC broke in their last two times they were there.
Right. And now you guys are giving a resurgence. Like, what is it? It's almost been 10 years since UFC has been in
it's been longer than 10 years. And the last time
and now they're coming back.
A numbered card either. The last time they were there was for a fight night. And
right.
The only person that I've seen that has been announced to be fighting from Philadelphia on that card is Joey Bodybags Pfeiffer, which I think is a problem. You have Sean Brady, you got Patrick Sabatini, you got Andre Petrovsky, you got Jeremiah Wells, you got all these guys that they can put on this card, and nobody's fighting on that card. I think it's a big mistake, and I think this is the reason why the UFC have these problems. You have almost 5 to 6 Philly fighters on your card, and none of them are fighting on it. Granted, now you have Kyle Dawkins is back. Lex is going to be cornering him for the White House card. Great, he's on the White House card, but now you can't. You're not going to be. He ain't going to be able to fight in Philly anymore.
Have him in Philadelphia, right?
And unless he gets a quick stoppage of Bo Nickel, there's no way that he's fighting in Philadelphia in August.
No.
And I actually think that's going to go 2 to 3 rounds. I actually think Kyle's going to get him on a submission. I do. Well,
we'll see. We'll see.
He's so underrated off his back, and I think it's one of those things. He's got a little chip on his shoulder to prove. We'll see if I'm right or wrong about that. I could be a Philadelphia homer right now. I could be. Bo Nickel ain't nothing to play with, but that's just how I feel. See that fight playing out.
I think Bo Nickel is a great pressure guy. I think he's a great wrestler. Obviously, no doubt. But yeah, I think I would take him over him in this. I'll take him on it for sure. Yeah. And I'm not from either area, so That's just me looking
But
out.
I ain't got no horse in this race. I ain't got no horse in
Yeah.
this. Speaking of like redemption stories and stuff like that, I just seen a thing that people are talking to Cain Velasquez and seeing if he's going to come out of retirement and stuff like that. He was at the MVP card that we were talking about. But basically, he's saying it's going to take a big bag. It's going to take a big bag to get him to,
for sure. And as well as these guys should
back
get
to
it.
what we were just talking about. They weren't taken care of when they were at their highest. I don't think Cain Velasquez is sitting there saying that right now. If when he was on his run, we're seeing him stop Brock Lesnar, the wars that he had with Junior Dos Santos, etc. That if he was taken care of, he would even entertain that. And but I don't blame him for sitting there saying he should be properly compensated. If I'm MVP, I make another fight with him and Junior Dos Santos on their next.
I mean, even after the loss that Junior had,
even after, yeah, why not? We don't know how Cain is either,
right?
I mean, like, listen, if you're going to put these nostalgia fights together first, like a little bit of it, you heard
Karate Combat wants to get
that Junior was fighting, dude. He had freaking
get the pain. Karate Combat champion.
He had coconut trees for arms, man. The thing's gonna. It's like when we were fighting, Street Fighter back in the day, and Balrog could hit you from across the screen with his arms. That's what it was. That's what it probably looked like.
That's great. But it was also a different time, and it wasn't prime Junior. I think that, like, you're right. If it came back with Cain, you don't know what's coming back with Cain. Obviously, he's been out of there for a while.
If you're gonna have Francis Ngannou fight on there, have him fight real heavyweights, not middleweights coming up and just.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
that is my only gripe.
That's a Jake Paul back card right there, man. Pull him up out of the weight class, right?
And then you wonder why Francis gave him his bonus check. He's like, "Here you go, bro. I feel bad for beating you up." I was being a weight bully. I'm sorry.
Kudos to him, man, and respect to him for like actually going and taking the fight, man. Like, it's an opportunity world, man. That's all I could say.
Yeah, it is, and that's what you've done, man. Since we're talking about opportunities, right?
Yeah.
I think you literally took a page out of Lex's book, if you ask me. We watched Lex call out Chris Camozzi. We watched him call out Sam Alvin. We've watched him call out Esteban Rodriguez. But you've been pushing for this fight for the better part of 2 months, 3 months?
I'd say almost 3 months that I've been pushing for this fight for sure.
So the powers that be gave you your wish. You're going up a weight class. You're fighting Lex Ludlow in Philadelphia, 4th of July.
3rd of July.
We were just talking about the Philadelphia fans, and you're talking about the we're different. There's a special energy. Obviously, you're the Boo Birds will be out in full force.
For sure.
It's something I talk about with a lot of the fighters. There's a special energy in the combat sports world when you're walking out to a fight. You're in somebody's backyard, and that just the energy that comes out from it.
I honestly, I'm gonna thrive on it, man. I've been pretty much in enemy territory my whole career, and I'm just happy I'm not in the the other side. Mike Richmond's good where he's at, but fighting Mr. Cannoli over there, because those guys like hold that dude like he's a freaking religion, man. I'll tell you. I think Lex is he's a little bit further out. He's probably like an hour and a half outside of Philly, but he's still a local Pennsylvania guy, and they still worship him.
Lex lives, I think he's like 15, 20 minutes from me, right? So he's just outside. He's just outside of the city. He trains right there, basically at the edge there.
Right.
And,
but I this is it, man. Like I manifested it, man. A lot of people can think whatever they want. I'm hungry, man. I'm eating healthy. I'm in the appropriate weight bracket. I did turn down a middleweight fight to take this fight. and it was actually a pretty hard one to turn down, man. I was offered David Burke, and David Burke also had fought Joseph Peters, and I had to throw it in my head, man. But I was on the upswing to try to hold my weight on me, and right now I walk around at about a 208, 209 comfortably. But usually I was walking around like 198, 200 to cut down to that. So I feel like right now I'm gonna walk in. Like I'm sure Lex has got probably closer to 230, so he's gonna have a little bit more to take off than me. I feel comfortable in that. I know he has a little bit more reach on me. I don't think he's that much taller than me. My fists are bigger than his, and my fight and heart are right there, man. I truly believe that this is my night to showcase myself. I looked at his path. I thought it was an appropriate fight for the time. He's doing phenomenal work within the BKFC. Unfortunately, I do not think that he's had somebody that actually wants to fight him yet. And I know you know what I'm saying. I don't think, Lex, you've had someone that wants to fight you yet. I want to fight you. I want to mix it up with you. He's a heavy guy. I don't believe that he's more skilled to me, but it's up to me to show people. It's up to me to prove that to people. It's up to me to showcase myself. So here we go. The powers that be gave me the opportunity. Now it's put up or shut up, Drew. And I'm ready to put up, man. I'm ready to put down, man. I'm ready to show that I'm supposed to be there, that this is my thing. This is my arena. This is my area. Yes, Philly fans are very passionate. I don't have any problem to say about any fan that voices their opinion. They pay the price of admission. They should be supporting the person that they're backing, man. I'm totally cool with that. You want to boo me? You don't know me. You don't know me. You want to cheer me? You don't know me. But that's all going to be different. July 3rd, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to fully showcase myself. I'm calling for a knockout. I'm telling you, I'm pushing forward. He hasn't seen it. He thinks that, he could look through records and think that that's it. Unfortunately for him, I've been doing this a lot longer to where recording hasn't always taken place, or shows haven't always been accountable with things. So yes, he's got a little idea, but I think I know him a little bit better than he knows me. And I think that'll be my advantage. I have nothing against him. I think he's a stand-up dude. I think that his name is comical. The most hated man in, combat sports. I think he's a pretty likable guy. I mean, as soon as they announced the fight, you should see how much hate I got. I'm a lot more hated than you, Lex. So, let's play. It's kind of funny. It's like, people are asking me why they call me hard body. I'm asking why do they call him the most hated man,
He's always involved in somebody, and there's always going back and forth with somebody. I guess that's why he's the most hated man. He comes from that wrestling background, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I've studied on that. He's definitely gonna come in and he's gonna try to grip up and he's gonna try to make it dirty, man. And he's gonna throw heavy for sure. My job is to be moving, striking, without giving too much away. It's a fight.
You mentioned that there's some people that sit there and say that this is a down fight for him. Your past in bare knuckle boxing, amateur career, etc. Has you on the downside of things. You said you've been the guy going to somebody's backyard, been the underdog. Why do you feel you deserve this fight over maybe a top contender that Lex could have waited it out for?
So I don't think the BKFC thinks that he's in a position to a top contender right now, and I think that BKFC has a little bit more fine comb than the numbers on whether Tapology or BoxRec could show. They understand who you're fighting, the ability of who you're fighting, and what actually happens or displays in those fights. They know more. I feel I have a little bit more of an advantage in those. Sure, is he going to be? I'm going up to his way. He's 3-0. I'm 1-3. Does he have the paper advantage? Sure, but I don't believe that. We're 0-0. He's 0-0. I'm 0-0. That's what the reality is. And it's up to me to show everybody that I absolutely deserve this. I have fought every monster on the planet, man. Like that has been in front of me, from Canada to Mexico to, you know, every state that comes by, man. I'm saying I'm here, man, and I'm going to stand. I've stood with elite strikers. I hit elite strikers. You know, sometimes my things don't translate the best, man. When I fought Leo, well, I bumped up in weight, but a lot of people don't know this, and I tend to not make excuses and say this, but I weighed in 196 with the clothes on at that time. It was a rough time in this. So I wasn't fully acclimated or put into a position where I was at that cruiserweight level. Right now, I'm walking in to be a cruiserweight. My last fight, hey, the shoes ripped up underneath me. Under my responsibility to take care of my own equipment. You understand? But I don't wear shoes, man. Anywhere I go, I ground everywhere, man. I stay humble. I put my feet to the ground. So my shoes ripping was a sign from the gods above, man. You know, it wasn't my time. Kudos to Joe Peters. He's gone on and he's got a 3-0 career as well. Over at the Mohegan Sun in that New England area, and he's a stud right now. I believe that wasn't a one-sided fight. I believe that I was just skating, man. So my last two outings, I don't believe it got taken away from me in a different fashion. I don't believe that I believe I'm better than what has been shown. And that's my opportunity to show. If they have a problem with me, they have a problem with how I got here or what I did to get here, I deserve it. And I know that everybody knows that made this up, that I do deserve this, and that I am going to get a phenomenal fight. I think that some other people on the other side perceive and see things, and they try to feed too much into numbers. And that's not really like, in the end, I'm not fighting any of these fans. I'm fighting Lex. It's going to be him and I in there, and that's all that really matters, man. You know, I'm moving forward, man. I'm hungry and I want it. And that's the difference. Does he want it? Is he there to fight? Is he going to be there to fight, or does he think that he's going to maul? I believe he thinks he's going to maul. And if he's not preparing for a war, then that may be his downfall.
I don't think Lex is one of these guys that isn't prepared. I mean, obviously, like I said,
no,
you know, I'm not gonna act like me and him aren't cool. We're not good friends. I haven't covered him since he was an amateur. I'm not gonna act like that.
Sure.
I'll just say it like this: are you ready for the mental warfare that comes with fighting Lex Ludlow at this point in time?
I think I've
already gotten a taste of it, and you know it's coming.
Oh, sure. I think that I did very well on bringing my Uno reverse card and keep it playing like that, you know. But that stuff is all noise. You know, the talking is just talking. Whatever he says, whatever I say, it's just business. It's just to hype up and to make the fight more exciting. Whether you hate me, you like me, you love me. Whether you hate him, you like him, you love him. You're gonna want to watch because we're exciting. We're a vibration around there. Now, after all of that is really said and done, it only matters what happens inside those ropes. So that's my opinion of it. I could say anything. I could say, oh, you know, I'm knocking him out, and that's what I believe. I'm knocking him the fuck out. That being said, I'm sure that he believes the same thing, that he's knocking me out. But I have nothing against him. Personally, I just thought he was a great opportunity. I seen the fights that he had, his entire career. I've watched, you know, as you have, I've seen, you know, the fights that he has, and I just feel that he's gotten a little bit more of a pat on the back, you know, and he doesn't fight outside the state, you know, too often. I fight all over the country, and I think that that's a detriment to it. But, you know, everything's going to be shown. Everything's going to be revealed when it's revealed. As for you being, you know, a fan and a friend of his, I know that, and I respect that, dude. If you were to go, like, dude, you're giving me the opportunity to come on and speak. You have been nothing but cordial to me, good to me, Steven. I love you. I appreciate all that you do, man. But I don't take any offense to that. That's the reality of fighting, man. Like, yeah, dude. many people that are going to be there saying, I hope fucking Lex kicks your ass. You know, he's got people messaging him, yo, knock him the fuck out. I got people messaging him, yo, knock him the fuck out. It is what it is. That is what it is. And when we get there July 3rd, you know, it's going to translate just like that. It's going to translate just like that. Yes, he has his own
July
psychological
3rd
thing.
is the fight. July 4th is 4th of July.
July 3rd. It's July 3rd.
Again, I know July 3rd is the fight, but July 4th is 4th of July. Where are you getting your cheesesteak, brother?
Where am I getting my cheesesteak? Where should I get my cheesesteak? That's what you need to tell me, because I'll be there.
Say it like this. I'm gonna just say it like this. Don't go to Pat and Gino's. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
If you want to go to Skinny Joey's, if you want to go to Tony Luke's, if you want to go to D'Alessandro's or Steve Steak, like whatever is gonna tickle your fancy when you go down there. Whether you want to go to Jim's, like there's so many different steak places you can go to in Philadelphia. It's really up to you.
Well, when I knock out Lex, which one of you gentlemen are going to present me with my Philly cheesesteak afterwards? That's what I'm asking.
I'll say it like this: if that happens to happen, and no one's giving you that, they're throwing them at you.
yeah. I bet, man. But like, listen,
man, I remember being in there for the Eddie and Jeremy Stevens fight, right?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you know, Jeremy's had a lot to say. The pre-fights presser, all that's when that fight started.
He didn't get his flowers. He didn't get his flowers.
They started chanting, you know, "F.U. Stevens," and I haven't heard that arena pop like that since like the Legion of Doom Eric Lindros days when Scott Stevens was the personal tormentors of the Philadelphia Flyers fans. So it's going to be a special energy fighting in there. You know, I got one or two more before we wrap this one up. We were talking about, you know, love, hate, you know, being indifferent and everything in between. You seen the back and forth between Dana White and Anderson Silva this week?
I have not. No, I have not.
Oh man. So apparently, like, you know, there's some strife between Anderson and Dana, and Anderson's comments basically wasn't happy. The bald guy's talking crap. You know, been out of the organization for many years already, but apparently neither of the current fighters nor the baldy guy himself can forget my accomplishments. Deep down, the baldy guy knows with me, there's no whining. Everyone got beat up. I saved the promotion more than once, just so we clear. So it seems like the bald guy doesn't know how to count.
Okay.
I guess something.
Isn't Anderson Silva bald as well?
I think something was said along the lines of you know, Anderson not being given credit for he built. In my opinion, the promotion was built more off the back of Anderson Silva's success than it was Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Randy Couture, and even Forrest Griffin.
That was the height, and when more eyes came in, for sure. Anderson Silva, but you know,
whether you were frustrated with his goofy performances, all that, Anderson Silva changed the face of the UFC. He changed the face of what MMA was. He wasn't even a guy on the UFC's radar when they bought Pride. He wasn't even on the radar, and wound up becoming one of the most decorated, lethal middleweight champions that the UFC ever seen. And if Dana White isn't giving him his flowers, his respect, the current fighters aren't. I don't blame Anderson Silva for saying a thing. I'll say it like this: when you think of yellow and black trunks, you think of two things. You think of Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
You think of Anderson Silva, and there's a reason for that. Anderson, as much as the lore of John Jones is special, Anderson Silva was too. And not only that, he created stars off of his back.
For sure. I think that we can all just agree.
Chris Weidman was, if he wasn't just being
that whole that Chris and you know what, Chris Weidman is a New York guy. That was one of the wildest fights, man. But let's really give the flowers here to Steven Seagal that taught him that kick, man. Let's give
Anderson should have not taken a dime from Steven Seagal to let him hang around.
Yeah, let's Let's just give the flowers to Steven Seagal. Without that, he created the UFC. And this guy's bald. I don't know, man. I'm just messing. But yeah, I thought that was great, man. I think that Anderson Silva can say whatever he wants. GSP can say whatever they want. All these guys can say whatever they want. They all built it, man. It wasn't just one man, and I think that's what gets lost in translation, as a lot of people feel that it was.
I think we're starting to see a lot of the former champions just doesn't get the love from the UFC. You've seen Ronda Rousey, how she's been treated.
Well, do you know why? Do you know why they really do that? Do you really want to know why they do that? They do that because they don't want them to have the same credibility or marketability to be able to promote another competing organization. And and organizations have absolutely tried to do that. And right now, I guess MVP had a little success with it. I don't know how the crowd was, as everybody likes to say that the crowd was empty, but everybody was talking. Everybody was excited.
All the lights they had in there, so you wouldn't be able to see if they were empty or not. I don't think the gate matters as much as what the viewership is. The gate's the gate. It was a debuting promotion. Right. Even if they didn't even have $1 million gate, it means nothing. It means nothing. It was their first event. So
everyone has to start somewhere.
I'll just say it like this. They need to do better. But since we're talking about champions and treatments of that, who's your favorite double champ of all time from the UFC? We've had a bunch of them over the years. Conor, GSP, Randy Couture, BJ Penn, Alex Pereira, John Jones, DC.
So when I was younger, it would be GSP. Now, professionally, just for my own reasons, I would have to say Conor, because Conor is, doing everything he is with our organization. But practically, and the most skilled, and honestly, I think is the workhorse behind UFC now, silently, is Pereira, Alex Pereira, definitely. I think that right now he's the dude. If there is, in my opinion, I don't think that
would cost the UFC the John Jones fight. The Alex Pereira loss caused them the John Jones fight.
Yeah, but John Jones isn't active.
Yeah, all right. Now, remember when Alex had his loss?
Mm-hmm.
It was to set up the fight with John Jones. That was more than likely going to be our headline for the White House card. It just never came to fruition. So
now we don't have it.
Yep.
Well, John Jones is happy over there with his buddy Mike Perry doing dirty boxing, and he's more than, he's just like a figure at this point. Like he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. But
he paid his dues. If he don't want to, if he don't want to fight unless it's a big a big fight like that, and everyone was sitting there saying, as soon as they say like, oh well, now he's got to fight what was it Aspinall. I'm like, Aspinall does nothing for him.
Aspinall, right? I don't think Aspinall is he even in the UFC
Alex
still.
Is a multiple weight champion. He was a middweight champion, a light heavyweight champion. Was about to be a heavyweight champion. Now he's fighting Cyril Gage now.
Again.
So it's like it's one of these things where Alex had the name that was going to make it interesting for John. Why are you going to put your record up against somebody like Tom and Aspinall, who could very well lose the very next fight? It's almost like a Buster Douglas situation. You know what I mean?
They didn't want to pay John Jones money. Is that what we're getting to the bottom of it?
I think that was part of the reason. Because we already know that just from what Ronda said. They didn't want to pay her and Gene what they were worth either, and that's why we got it. We got it for MVP and not for the UFC. And that's why I said nothing that Ronda has said against the UFC over the past few months has been wrong or a lie. So it's one of these things where you just, it is what it is. What could have been, what should have been. We hear about this stuff all the time in the combat.
You think he'll fight again? You think John Jones is going to fight again in the UFC?
If I had a bet, I would say 50-50. It's going to have to be the right fight for the right amount of money. If he gets out of his contract, I wouldn't be surprised to see Francis Ngannou, John Jones, to headline
at the MVP,
the MVP's big event next year.
Or just do it, or just do it straight at his Dirty Boxing, right?
Nah, it's gonna be for MVP. They're the one that's gonna be able to
fight with other people's money, not your own. All right.
We'll see what it holds.
I love it.
As we get ready to wrap this one up, man. As we talked about it beforehand, your time, my friend. Anyone you want to get any love to? Shoot up social sites,
like
all that stuff.
I always say this. I've had hundreds of sponsors and supporters over this. I always find it very difficult when I get to this point to try to individualize. So everybody that does sponsor support me, I want to say thank you for your continued walk with me on this journey. You guys mean the world to me, and I mean everyone, and everyone that doesn't support me, man. Like you all motivate me. It is a wonderful journey. It is a humbling place to be. I'm hungry. I'm ready. Listen, July 3rd, you're going to see a whole new hard body. You're going to see everything that I've been working on my entire career. Maybe the record has been shoddy, but this is time it all. I set my mark here, man. July 3rd in Philadelphia, in the hostile crowd, the most exciting crowd and the most tough crowd in the world, as far as I'm concerned. We make our mark, man, and I'm very excited to do so. Steven, I want to shout you out, for having me on the show again. Especially, you're definitely a Philadelphia guy, and I'm sure, you're leaning obviously the other way. You've known Lex for,
respect you, respect the work you put in, but
definitely. If you said anything else,
is to have Lex pop your little bubble and send you in with your tail between you.
If you said anything else, I wouldn't believe you.
Sometimes fate will be what fate will be. The gods will say who deserves to win, who deserves to lose that night. We'll see who the winner is.
That's right.
Come to July 3rd, my friend.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Like I said, I appreciate everybody. This is a wonderful journey. I deserve to be here, and I'm regardless, I'm going to show everybody that I deserve to be there. I'm going to fight my ass off. I'm going to fight forward, and I'm going to fight aggressive. So I appreciate everyone for taking the ride with me, man. This is a very humbling experience, and I'm excited to be there.
Appreciate your time as always, Andrew. Stay safe and healthy camp. I'm not gonna wish you the best of skill. I'm not gonna lie to you, brother.
Hey, dude. I didn't expect you. Like I said, I say it to him too.
Listen, you got my respect. I'm always gonna respect anyone who takes on a friend or somebody I care about. But I'm not gonna lie to your face, dude.
Hey, that's cool with me, man. I listen. You're giving me the respect right now. You're just giving me a platform to speak.
Yes, sir.
And that's enough, man. Like I don't need anybody to say, "Hey, yo, Drew, I'm taking for you to win," because you could either be taking for me to win or you could be taking for me to lose. That doesn't make a fucking difference for anybody. And the same side for any opponents. What only translate is what we put into it. But I do appreciate everybody that's involved. I appreciate everybody that makes this, a spectacular event, man. We're gonna have a great time, and blood's gonna fall, his and mine.
4th of July in Philadelphia. Couldn't ask for a better way to spend the 250th
fireworks. Fireworks. 250 years, America. Let's go.
And it'll be here in Philadelphia. So appreciate your time, Andrew.
Yes,
Enjoy
sir.
the rest of your afternoon, and
you as well.
See you when you get here to Philadelphia, my friend.
All right, I'll see you there, Steven.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too, my friend. All right, everyone. That was Andrew Hardbody Nolen. He's going to be taking our main Lex, the Grizzly Bear, a.k.a. the most hated man in combat sports, Ludlow, July 3rd, Xfinity Mobile Arena, Liberty Brawl. Other than that, this was another episode of The Real and the Rare. I'm your host, Steven Rychel. We will catch you guys on the rebound, my friends. Peace on out.